All right, guys, here we go again. Another 1908 game for you. We'll take another look at the standings here. We have the Giants at the Reds today. New York's 21-6, and they're off to a really hot start in the season. They are 2 games now ahead of the Cubs, who came from behind to win in the last game that we saw. The Reds, meanwhile, are in 7th place and are sinking like a rock. So we'll see how this one goes. It's Bob Spade on the mound here for Cincinnati. 2-4 is his record with a 2.81 ERA. You think 2.81 is good? Not in 1908. Roger Bresnahan rolls a 42 for a 14, and he takes first base on a walk. Spade now has given up 17 walks. Bresnahan has this incredible on-base percentage, and he does not have an 11, so we're not going to do anything fancy with Mike Donlin. Here comes Mike Donlin, though, hitting 352. He rolls a 23 for a 32. It's a fly ball to right field, and Mitchell's got that one away. Art Devlin up there now. And Devlin rolls a 56 for a 34. There is a little E-roll, and it's going to be a 45 well out of the range as a pop-up over to shortstop. Holsworth has that, and there's 2 away. Fred Tenney now, the batter. And Tenney rolls a 53 for a 19, change to 17. That's going to be a single to right field, sends Bresnahan to third, and Tenney ends up going to second on that throw to third, and so that's the first hit of the game for the Giants. That will bring up Larry Doyle. New York already threatening in this one, top of the first inning. Doyle hitting 214, but with 10 RBIs, and he rolls a 36 for a 33. There is a little E-roll. This time it's an 11, so there's going to be a shortstop changes to an 18, and that's going to be booted there by Holsworth, the shortstop. Doyle will be safe at first, and 2 runners score, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Giants on that error. First error of the ball game. Here now is Spike Shannon. And Shannon rolls a 56 for a 34. It's a pop out over to shortstop. Holsworth has that for the out, and we go to the bottom of the first inning. It will be Hans Lobert up here for the Reds. Hans rolls an 11 for a 0. His next roll is a 13 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field, and that will bring up Mike Mitchell. So Lobert gets the double. Here comes Mitchell, runner on at second base, nobody out, against Mathewson. Christie 7-0, 1.43 ERA, and Mitchell rolls a 52 for a 27. That's going to be a ground ball to the left side. Devlin has that on to first, 1 away. Here's Rudy Holsworth. Mathewson has been very difficult to do anything off of. Holsworth rolls a 24 for a 13, and there's a strikeout, number 1 for Christie. 32 on the season against 7 walks. And here's Admiral Schley, who rolls a 35 for a 38, changed to a 36, and that's going to be a wild pitch by Christie, sends Lobert to third. Admiral's still up there, and he rolls a 21 for a 30, fly ball left field, and Shannon has that for the out, and we go to the top of the second. Al Bridwell will be the batter here for the Giants, and Al rolls a 41 for a 28, ground ball to short, Holsworth on to first base, 1 away. Cy Seymour now hitting 208. He rolls a 22 for a 7. That'll be a base hit for Cy. Hit number 2 for the Giants, and that'll bring up Mathewson, who's going to bunt, of course. Christie hitting 143. He rolls a 51 for a 23. That's a pretty poor job by Mathewson. Bunts that one up to Spade. The pitcher grabs it, throws to first to double off the runner, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be John Gansel here for the Reds. John rolls a 66 for a 0, and his next roll is a 32 for an 11, so that'll be a single for Gansel, who then steals second. Nobody out, runner on at second base for Dode Paskard, and he rolls an 11, so Christie's getting kind of shelled in this one. Next roll is a 65 for an 8. That's a single over second base, and that will not score the runner. That he ends up being thrown out in a good play by Seymour. Throws on to Bresnahan, and of course the reason why is because the runner Gansel is a slow runner. See that S right there, and so Paskard ends up on second base after the single, but there's 1 away. Here's Miller Huggins, still 2-0 Giants. Huggins rolls a 52. Let's get this back on here. 52 for a 27. That's another ground ball to Devlin at third, who throws to first, 2 away. Here now is John Kane. He rolls a 41 for a 28, and it's a ground ball to short, so Bridwell throws to first, and we go to the top of the third. The Reds have had runners on second base in both the first and second innings. Haven't been able to send him home. They have 3 hits to New York's 2, and they're trailing 2-0, so there you go. Bresnahan up next. His roll is 62 for a 12, ground ball, first base. Gansel grabs that, goes to the bag, 1 away. Mike Donlin rolls a 33 for a 0. Going deep again, and he rolls then a 16 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field, and that brings up Art Devlin with another chance to drive in another run. Devlin's hitting just a hair under 300, 17 men driven in, has 2 home runs, and his rolls a 42 for a 39, changed to a 40, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. Mitchell makes the catch, but Donlin able to advance to third. There's 2 away, and here's Fred Tenney, runner on at third. And Tenney rolls a 55 for an 8. It's a fly ball to right field, and Mitchell's got that for the out. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning. Still 2-0 for the Giants. Here now is Bob Spade, the pitcher for the Reds. He rolls a 12 for a 25. It's going to be a strikeout for Christie, 1 away. Here is Lobert, and that's number 2 now for Mathewson. Hans Lobert rolls a 51 for an 8. Ground ball to short, and Bridwell throws to first. There's 2 away. Here now is Mike Mitchell. Mitchell rolls a 34 for a 44, fly ball to center field, and Seymour's got that for the out. We go to the top of the fourth. It will be Larry Doyle here for the Giants. Doyle rolls a 55 for an A, ground ball to short, and Holsworth has it on to first. There's 1 away. Spike Shannon up next. He rolls a 35 for a 42, gets hit by that pitch, and that'll bring up Al Bridwell. So Shannon finds a way to get on base. Here comes Bridwell, and the question is swing away or bunt. I suppose we bunt in this situation. And the roll is a 34 for a 44. We should have hit and run. There's a little E roll, and it's a 14. That's going to be key. And so that's changed to an 18. That means that's a bunt on, or an error, on Bob Spade, who fielded the bunt, dropped it, and Bridwell's safe at first. Shannon safe at second. Here comes Cy Seymour. So runners on at first and second, only 1 out. Seymour also hitting 215, so we'll try to bunt again. We might as well. And the bunt this time is a 52 for a 27. That'll be a strikeout. Seymour does not do a good job trying to bunt. There's 2 away. Here comes Christie. And how about that? He rolls a 66 for a 4. That's going to be, now look at this right here. Christie Mathewson did not hit any home runs. Therefore, all pitchers except an L, M, or N rated pitcher automatically reduces the home run to a double. So because of that, Mathewson normally would have a home run, but that is changed to a 6 for a double. He gets a double that scores 2, and it's now a 4-0 lead for the Giants. I say he was robbed. You should give him the home run, but I can't do anything about it. That's hardwired into the game. It's the way the game was written. Here's Roger Bresnahan now, and he rolls a 12 for a 24. There is a little E roll. And it's a 14, which is within the range. That changes it to a 15. That's an error on Paskert, who was, I suppose, trying to make a shoestring catch, ended up dropping the ball. Bresnahan safe at first, and Mathewson scores from second, and that makes this a 5-0 game. Here now is Mike Donlin. So 5-0 Giants, top of the fourth inning. Donlin's hitting 354 now, and he rolls a 55 for a 7. There's another base hit, and that'll bring up Art Devlin. Question is, how long do we leave Spade in there? I think we'll leave Bob in there for a little while longer. 3 errors committed by the Reds. He's had some bad luck, so let's see what happens here. Art Devlin rolls a 15 for a 10, and that's a base hit that will score 1, but then the runner on first is thrown out trying to get to third. And so we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's a 6-0 lead for New York, and here comes Rudy Holsworth. 6 runs scored by the Giants off of Spade. Holsworth up against Mathewson rolls a 15 for an 8. It's a ground ball over to Bridwell, who throws to first, 1 away. Here's Admiral Schley. Admiral rolls a 24 for a 13 and strikes out. That is victim number 3 that Christie has rung up. 2 away, and here's John Gansel. John rolls a 53 for a 19, and that's going to be a ground ball over to third. Devlin throws to first, and we go to the top of the fifth. Still a 6-0 lead for the New Yorkers. Here's Fred Tenney. Tenney rolls a 43 for a 29, comebacker to Bob Spade, and he throws to first for the out, 1 away. Larry Doyle now, he rolls a 13 for a 14, and he'll take his base on the walk, and that'll bring up Spike Shannon. Shannon, we'll try some hit and run here. Shannon rolls a 62 for a 12, and that's a good hit and run ground ball over to Huggins, who throws to first. Doyle makes it a second. There's 2 away, and here's Al Bridwell, of course, hitting 216. He bunted once today and was on base on an error, so he's 0 for 1. And his roll is a 45 for a 14. He takes his base on a walk. Spade has walked 3, only struck out 1, and here's Cy Seymour. Seymour last time up struck out. He's 1 for 2. And his roll is a 63 for a 31. It's a fly ball to center field, and Kane has that for the out. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 6-0 New York. Here comes Dode Paskert. He rolls a 25 for an 11. That's a single off of Mathewson and then steals second. So Mathewson facing yet another runner on at second base. Bottom of the 5th inning, 6-0 Giants. Here's Miller Huggins. And he rolls a 34 for a 44 fly ball center field. Seymour's got that one away. John Kane is up next, and he rolls a 51 for a 9. That's a single that will score the runner, and then Kane is thrown out trying to steal. So there's 2 away, 6-1 the score now. And here comes Bob Spade. So Mathewson will not get the shutout, but it doesn't matter that much. Pitcher Spade rolls a 16 for a 28, ground ball to short, Bridwell on to first, and we go to the top of the 6th. And here is Christy Mathewson. He's 1 for 2 today, grounded into double play, and then had that big double driving in 2 and later scored a run. He rolls a 14 for a 43. There is a Little League rule. 65 is the rule, and that's a fly ball to left. Paskert has that one away. Roger Bresnahan up there now, hitting .355. He is 0 for 2 today and did walk, scored 2 runs. One of those at-bats was an error. His rule is a 56 for a 14, so he reaches base yet again. I'm telling you, Bresnahan reaches base every time you turn around, he's back on base again. Here's Mike Donlin. Bresnahan is not fast. I'll let you see here. He doesn't have that 11, doesn't have an F, so we're going to play this one straight. And the roll is a 14 for a 43. It's a fly ball to left field. Paskert has that. There's 2 away. Art Devlin now. Devlin hitting .302, 1 for 3 today with an RBI. And he rolls a 35 for a 14, and Spade walks another one. 5 walks for Bob. And here comes Fred Tenney. 6-1 the score. And Tenney's roll is a 15 for a 10, and that's going to be an infield single, and that will load him up for Larry Doyle. If Spade has trouble in this inning, if he starts giving up runs, he's coming straight out because this is a little bit ridiculous here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 6th. And the roll for Doyle is a 35 for a 9, and that's a fly ball to left field. Paskert's got that one, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. New York is up 6-1. They have left 8 men on base. That is how good this offense is. Here's Hans Lobert up against Mathewson. Rolls a 52 for a 27. That's going to be a strikeout because of the X, and that's the first out in the bottom of the 6th. 4 strikeouts for Christie. Here now is Mike Mitchell. Mike rolls an 11 for a 0. And the second roll is a 12 for an 11, so it's a single and then another stolen base, and that means another runner on at second base for the Reds. They've had runners on at second the entire game. Rudy Holsworth now rolls a 44 for an 8, and that's a ground ball back to Mathewson, who throws to first. Mitchell goes to third. 2 away, and here is Admiral Schley. He rolls a 64 for a 13, so Mathewson has struck out his 5th, and we go to the top of the 7th inning. 6-1, Giants still in control of this one, and here comes Spike Shannon. Spike's 0 for 2, did get on base after being hit by a pitch. And he rolls a 12 for a 24. There is a Little E roll. This is what happens when you don't have an X. They have a chance to make you commit an error, but instead it's a ground ball to the shortstop, Holsworth, who throws to first, 1 away. Al Bridwell now for the Giants. Rolls a 16 for a 26. Ground ball over to second. Huggins on to first, 2 gone. Here is Cy Seymour. Cy rolls a 42 for a 13 and strikes out, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. So Spade has stayed in there, and here comes John Gansel for the Reds. They are not completely out of it, but it would take a little bit of a miracle. Gansel rolls a 33 for a 0. His next roll is a 32 for an 11, and that's another runner on second base. He gets the base hit, gets the stolen base, and Paskert's up there once again with another runner on second base, nobody out, and the Reds just can't drive him in. Pasker rolls a 25 for 11. I spoke too soon. But look at that. Gansel ends up being thrown out at home because of what happens here. It's a good throw by Shannon and on to Bresnahan, and they get the lead runner. Paskert ends up on second base, but there's 1 away. It's still a 6-1 ball game. Miller Huggins up next. He rolls a 43 for a 29. It's a ground ball over to first base. Tenney has that, flips over to Mathewson covering, and Pasker moves to third. 2 away, and here's John Kane. And Kane rolls a 23 for a 32. It's a fly ball right field, and Donlin has that for the out. We go to the top of the 8th. It'll be Christy Mathewson leading this off. Of course, he is 1 for 3 today, had that big double. That's a big surprise. He rolls a 62 for a 12. It's a ground ball to first base. Gansel grabs that, goes to the bag, 1 away. Roger Bresnahan now rolls a 15 for a 10, and there's a single to center, and that's the 8th hit for the Giants. The Reds, by the way, already have 8 hits, but they haven't done anything with them. Mike Donlin now, and Bresnahan hitting very, very well. Donlin's 2 for 4 today. 357 is his average. It keeps going up. And he rolls a 51 for a 7. It's another base hit for the Giants. Number 9, Donlin now 3 for 5 today. That'll bring up Art Devlin, who's 1 for 3 and walked. And now let's see what happens. And again, we got to wonder about Spade. He's leading off the next inning. And look at this. It's a 44 for an 8. That's going to be a single over short. That'll score 1, and Donlin will stay at second. It's a 7-1 ball game. Here now is Tenney. We're going to let Spade finish the 8th. There's no point in taking him out because we'll take him out anyway. The roll by Tenney is a 15 for a 10, and that'll load the bases up. And here comes Larry Doyle. 1 out, top of the 8th. The Reds is just looking for a double play. They'll take 1 out if that's all they get. The roll is a 36 for a 33. It looks like they will get that out, but we have to get through this little E-roll. It's a 21 right in the range, changed to a 15, and that's a single to left, and then there's a error on the left fielder Paskert. That allows 2 to score, and it's a 9-1 ball game. 4 errors on the Reds. Here now is Spike Shannon, runners on at second and third. He rolls a 62 for a 12, and that's a strikeout, and there's 2 away. Al Bridwell up now. So Spade has walked 5, struck out 3. And Bridwell rolls a 25 for a 10, and that's a fly ball to center field, and Kane has that for the out. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 9-1, though, the Giants with the lead, and here comes Spade, and we're going to take him out of this one. Bob, a little bit of bad luck, but I don't think that much of it was due to bad luck. Mike Morey is going to come into the game to pinch hit for him. 9-1 the ball game, and this is kind of what we were expecting here. The 1908 Giants are not a team to be messed around with. Morey rolls a 66 for a 0. His next roll is a 42 for a 6. And so Mathewson once again has a runner on second base he's got to worry about. 9 hits for the Reds. They've only had a single run out of him, though. Here's Hans Lobert. He rolls a 63 for a 31. Fly ball center field, and it's going to be Seymour getting that for the out. 1 away. Mike Mitchell now rolls a 52 for a 27. That's a ground ball over to the left side. Devlin on to first, and there's 2 away. Here is Rudy Holtzwit. And Rudy rolls a 42 for a 32. It's a fly ball right field. Donlin's got that, and we'll go to the top of the 9th inning. Still 9-1, the Giants with the lead. Mathewson only struck out 5 today, if you can consider that to be an only type of thing. The Reds don't have a whole lot of pitchers here. I think it's going to be Tozer who's going to get his chance here to pitch in relief. Up against Cy Seymour. Seymour's rolls a 43 for a 29. It's a comebacker to Tozer, who throws to first, 1 away. And here's Christy Mathewson, and the crowd is going nuts for him. Only 1 run given up, struck out 5 so far. Rolls a 56 for a 34. It's a pop-up over to the right side, and Holtzwith's got that, 2 away. I guess the crowd wouldn't go too nuts for in Cincinnati, but I imagine they enjoy watching a good performance, better than the Reds have been. Here's Bresnahan, who's 1 for 3, and he rolls a 44 for a 7. He's now 2 for 4 today with the 2 walks. He's had a heck of a day. He's been on base every time you turn around. And here comes Mike Donlin, who's 3 for 5. And his roll is a 53 for a 15, and he is hit by the pitch. And so he reaches base, and that'll bring up Art Devlin. Devlin is 2 for 4. The Giants looking to add to their lead a little bit more. And there's a 24 for a 13, and that's going to be a strikeout for the 3rd out. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Admiral Schley here for the Reds, and it's the heart of the order. Schley rolls a 53 for a 19, changed to 22. It's a ground ball over to Tenney at first, flips to Mathewson for the out, 1 away. John Gansel. He rolls a 56 for a 27. That's a strikeout. That's number 6 collected by Mathewson, 37 this season. 2 gone, and here's Paskert. And Dode rolls a 35 for a 40, changed to 36. Won't mean anything. It's just a ball. And now it's a 34 for a 44 fly ball to center field, and Seymour will run that one down for the out, and there you have it. So Mathewson gets the complete game. He gets the 9-1 victory. He'll go to 8-0. Bob Spade going down to 2-5, and these Giants are going to go to 22-6. They are starting to take charge of 1908, so watch out, because this pennant race might not be a pennant race for long, at least in the National League. We'll see what happens, though. You know, this is one of those dizzying seasons, isn't it? Talk to you again later. Again, final score, Giants 9, Reds 1. Have a good day. Talk to you then. Bye.